When last we left the party, you were all pushing on the doors to get out. There is a bit of resistance, but the combined effort of, 4 people, you managed to...
And a dead guy.
3.5 and a dead guy.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Don't downgrade yourself, Rhylind. You're not that weak.
Jasper's helping, isn't he?
No, he's unconscious.
He's unconscious.
He is
He's unconscious.
Are we leaving him on the
Bless
floor?
his heart. We are, that's right.
I was actually going to raise that point, but let's carry on.
You would have pushed it, it's locked, and then Rhylind would have
push
taken
harder.
an axe to it. So let's just put, damage to property on the long list of...
I hope they didn't damage the tower too
Killing
much.
his servant, resurrecting, possibly killing again.
Hitting the floor a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Lots of chicken wings.
I love it.
And everything's really greasy.
Was this a fucking pub crawl or a theft? Because quite frankly,
Like I say, we love our fried chicken.
So yes.
The servant's not dead, is he? I thought we left him alive.
Oh, wait,
No, you stabilised
Just very dangerously close to
That's
death.
fine, we left him alive, it's fine.
and Jasper, who's unconscious as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
This guy. Did you do all of this and then fall asleep? Admittedly, it would be tiring to destroy 6 suits of armor, almost kill a guy, and then throw chicken wings everywhere.
And then get robbed.
Like everywhere. Still finding them like
Why
heads
do you
after.
have no items on you? Who took your shoes?
I don't think he took his shoes.
I intend to take his shoes.
I took his dagger.
We left him with 1 dagger, didn't we?
pants.
We're not completely harmless.
Just take his pants. Leave his shoes.
Yeah.
Leave his shoes.
We're not going to assault the guy. Let's
Look,
You may not be
let's backtrack a little bit. What did you guys do in the aftermath of this battle?
I took a dagger.
Yeah.
I stole all the jewelry he had.
I took most of his shit.
Now, you will have all made notes of what you've taken,
I
yes?
took the pipe and tobacco from Clarence's corpse. Because we had a smoke together and we're buddies now. Except he's dead and I'm not. So
He's your bodies now.
Dead buddies.
buddy.
Dead buddy.
He's my dead buddy. Get it?
Try.
You know what? The listeners at home are laughing, okay?
They're really not. I'm sorry.
I got the holy symbol, weird gold coin. I also have his hammer.
I've got a swan symbol necklace and earrings that are made of some kind of sapphire thing and a whole bunch of coins.
All right.
You're blinged up.
I'm blinged up.
Okay, now I know there was consternation about not being able to loot the fucking tower, but is there anything you wanted to do before you left the scene of the crime?
Personally, no, so I'm all good.
I was going to make a recommendation that we don't leave Jasper here. Because, and there's logic to this,
There's a perfectly good bridge you can throw him off.
I heard nothing.
because there is only 2 people here who can identify us. One is Jasper. The other is the nearly dead guy that I tried to kill and several of you tried not to kill. I'm still all for murdering the prick.
No.
Why are we... So this guy can identify... Why are we leaving Jasper?
I thought Jasper was
He's a dead weight.
I think he is a patsy, but there is no need for us a patsy because we are...
We're leaving him here because he wanted to grab something. That was
But
the
he's
problem.
unconscious.
Yeah, but
And
I
he's
mean,
not waking up soon.
Yeah, but he might.
Okay,
Slap him
so-
about a bit.
You are terrible. He would liked you. He never liked
I
me.
liked him. I just think he might want the stuff he left. Or, you know.
Or
Will be
he might
arrested.
not want to get found by the wizard.
Well, you know, that's also true.
I feel, my personal self, I think we should take the guy and ditch him in an alleyway.
So while you guys are while Abella and Skairn are having a very avid argument,
Over whether or not we leave the guy to be murdered by the wizard, who would probably be angry by what has happened. Why have I got a leaky dwarf on my shoulder?
yeah, and
He is heavy, but becoming less so.
Prosh actually trills in your ear. He's not particularly happy about
I can't understand why. Just stand on his head.
He actually he does kind of sniff the dwarf, paw at it, and then sort of
Oh, God, I hope
do
he's
the
not gonna
cat
eat
Nest in his hair. With beard.
he does the cat thing of like clawing at it to sort of see if it's like pliable.
God, I hope he doesn't
Yeah,
eat
no, he's just sort of
Just chewing on the ear.
So,
Yeah.
oh,
Just like, here is your dead son. Ignore the bite
I
marks.
apologize for the bite marks. My dragon is
was
curious.
I'm curious, does anyone actually know where Clarence lived? Or,
No, but his father is in the city, yeah?
yes, but the city
So
is
something about a
city.
last
He's going to
dish,
try
did
and
he
find
say?
a dwarf and be like, hey, do you know this guy?
I'm looking for a long bottom. Nothing funny.
Okay, so look,
Do have him on my shoulder.
I'll just straight up go around, just straight up ask, is there anything anyone's wanting to do while they're here, or are you guys wanting to move on?
He
Sorry.
takes the Jasper.
Okay, yeah, back on
We
Jasper.
kill the old guy, and we leave the box with the fake ones, the one that we are supposed to leave.
Yeah.
The only thing that is tying us to this place, or the second most powerful person in the city, is the old guy, who I have on more than one occasion attempted to murder.
I just think that because Clarence pretty much sacrificed his life to save an innocent,
And
it would be a waste of his life to kill that innocent man.
That is a shame. I think Clarence was wrong. And I don't think that honoring his memory by allowing a man to live who could easily identify this one, pointing at Rhylind,
I am pretty distinctive.
you are pretty distinctive, my dear. And also the crazy dwarf with the halfling, sorry, my apologies. A
bit
halfling
racist.
with the ruff. And frankly, you and I are not that indistinguishable either.
He does also know everyone's name because of him.
I got the small... I will point out also...
Shut up, dead Clarence.
Dead Clarence, however, raises a good point. The reason I told him our names is because right from the moment I met him, he was dead to me. But even if I had not told him our names, I am a sailor with a dragon on my shoulder. She is a dragon.
Born.
My apologies, dragonborn, and he is a dwarf with a ruff, a halfling with a ruff. You are the only one who can get out of this scot-free. You are free to bugger off. But the three of us are easy to spot.
And that wasn't intentional on my behalf, but I'm just going to point out it was your actions that led to this guy being in the circumstance he's in and we're in right now. So, no, I don't think we should kill him.
How so is mine reactions?
You threw a harpoon at him!
Nine. It's not mine fault that he walked in on us while we are leaving. He sees us.
And then you threw a harpoon at him.
Yeah, because he can identify us.
Ryland, what's your passive perception?
That's 9.
9? Okay. Ryland, you notice that behind the arguing elf and the arguing dead dwarf and half elf...
Is he arguing?
He's adding to
I'm
the
currently
discussion.
rolling my eyes
You're
like
making a point.
Ryland.
You're certainly making a very eloquent point sitting on my dead
Trying
shoulder.
to turn over in his grave.
Behind the archway at the far end of the room, there is a stone-on-stone grinding sound.
Well, that's not good.
A very large figure is moving behind the curtain.
Guys!
Yeah?
Look that way.
Though that is not good.
So I think we should leave soon.
The large statue that Nezor blasted off him is actually starting to animate and is in the process of sort of slowly standing up.
Ryland, quickly
No,
clap
you-
the old man, please.
They're both being brought down.
Yeah, you're...
Can I lift Jasper?
if Nezor's going to help you, then you don't have to worry about it.
I can help. I
You're
don't know
Nez.
how much.
Help
He
me
is
his
also
out.
very
legs.
small, so
Let's
we'll
do
be-
this.
Yeah.
Let's just
Get his
take
legs.
the
He's gonna be a bit lopsided, but we'll get there.
I'll take most of the weight and you just take like the legs or something.
Drag a foot.
And Ryland grabs the old guy.
I got the old guy. We can have a chat to him when he comes to.
Yeah.
V-dash.
The head of the statue has basically become prominent above the arch and is now turning to look towards you and very slowly starts moving.
So we are leaving.
We run.
Get
Let's
out,
go.
Get out
We
now.
run as fast as we can.
You run through the doorway onto a sort of raised platform which has a set of stairs that go straight down into a small garden outside. You've cleared, you're outside the tower. The surrounding grounds is effectively two lanes of a road that come to a turning circle. There's a row of small trees running either side, about 6 of them, and at the far end you see a large gate and a brown brick wall that runs the perimeter of the area in a circle.
Running, gate and out.
Yep.
I guess I don't
I'm
really have
not
much of an
stopping.
option. I just go wherever Abella goes.
Yeah, I'm doing that as well. Yeah.
The statue is following you outside. It has a little difficulty getting through the doorway, but it stoops down and gets through. However, you run down to the end, far outstripping it, because it is moving rather slow. For something that's quite large, that could potentially move quite fast, it is actually quite laboured and quite slow in movement. You get to the gate, push the gate open, it's not locked. The statue, once you clear basically once you clear the perimeter, the statue sort of stops animating and just stands there in the middle of the road.
Oh, well, that's good.
You find yourself on a rather clean-looking street. It's rather wide, made of cobblestone. Probably has quite a lot of cart traffic through the day.
Horse
But
shit
it's-
then.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's actually quite clean. So in this part of the town, they probably actually have someone who comes up afterwards
Yeah.
and cleans it, like a night siltman or something.
Even
like that.
even medieval times they had that.
But it is a rather empty time of night.
Good.
There is no one that you can see on the street. You estimate it's probably about 5 a.m. It is that sort of light blue light starting to filter through. So it is a little bit more illuminated than it was before. It's not pitch black.
Yay!
Right, so I think we
Apart
should.
from the Clarence being dead bit, we haven't done a bad job, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
2
what
out
are
of
we-
3 ain't bad.
What are we doing with Jasper?
I say ditch him in a street. He's not likely to dob us in.
I'd say find a small bush and just tuck him gently behind it.
That sounds more fun.
We've
you could
got
get
to. I
thorns.
think we can make that decision.
Yes. Is there a small bush around?
Okay, so this street actually heads in two directions. Runs perpendicular to the tower. To the left, 400 metres away, there's a large bridge that goes over what looks like a river. To the right, it goes on an incline, actually up to another level of the city, because the city is kind of tiered against a spire of a mountain. And basically straight ahead of you is a set of buildings, rather large-looking domiciles. Probably the middle class lives here. It's a well-to-do looking town. Little bushes and shrubs. Little bushes and shrubs.
Those are the people who maintain the bushes and shrubs.
Yeah, the bushes
and the shrubs.
Yeah,
That's why I
Never
said
confuse the two.
never.
They have a feud.
Yes, it's
There's a
two
little path
families.
down the street. Actually, that's
Both
what that's
alike in
shrubs
shrubbery.
on one side, bushes
Guys.
on the other.
And
Two families, both alike in shrubbery.
It's totally-
You can
In
find,
topiary.
Yes.
see if you can find a drop him out in front of a pub. There's always unconscious people out in front of
Well,
it.
yeah.
That's a good point.
I like
Thanks,
the
Ed
shrub
Clarence.
though because
I
the
think
guy's
shrub-
freaking irritating. I want him scratched.
no, I mean like a nice comfortable shrub.
Taking 6
You've
miles
clearly never
out.
gone hedge jumping.
Okay, do we want to head downhill and see if we can find either a pub or a bush large enough to conceal?
Is that where the bridge is? Because
The
bridges
bridge is to the left. It kind of, I
feel-
suppose it's on a bit of a slant downhill. It's not
I
really,
feel like we
though.
want to be going the direction of the pub that we came from in the first place to find a pot.
Do we know which way that is?
The screen of buildings that are in front of you actually doesn't give you much reference point as to where it is, but you remember Marno's Tower being sort of like halfway up the mountain.
So down is better.
Yeah, the city is sort of tiered upwards in 3 tiers, and the
Yeah.
upper tier, which is where this road to your right's heading, actually finishes up at the Ard's Palace. The Ard's Palace sits at a flat plateau where it's actually had quite a lot of land cleared away, so there are a large amount of gardens there as well, which is also something you might be interested in going to see. It's actually visible from the docks. It's sort of like a tree line
We
that
could
goes
dump
around.
Jasper there.
I think, yeah, somewhat nearby, like that would be good in case he does decide he wants to nip back into the palace. And
I'm just thinking if we're going to
Lanterns.
leave him somewhere, he's a tiefling, we may not want to leave him somewhere posh.
I feel like we don't want to leave him in a place where he's going to get robbed more.
This is why I'm thinking somewhere concealed.
We haven't taken his shoes yet. Much to my disappointment.
I vote
You did
down.
leave it. You did. Okay.
I'm
What?
down. I'm heading down.
You're down with down. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
This guy's heavy.
let's go down. I want to have a look at the bridge and see if there's anything around the bridge that could be used to
Ted
conceal
Clarence
it.
just suggested he
Jasper.
might be mutilated in his sleep.
His horns are an
That's-
aphrodisiac.
No, they're not. But
Oh, I
He
think they might be.
He likes to think so. The ladies love the
Ted
It's
horn.
Clarence
interesting-
thinks so.
it's interesting you bring up the thing about making sure that he doesn't get like more robbed. Like I said, tieflings are not particularly popular people. Some of them integrate with societies once people get to know them better, but they're generally considered to be ne'er-do-wells or members of the Unholy Empire, which everyone's a bit shit scared of. to be
This
quite
is
frank.
why I'm thinking maybe not in front of a pub.
Somewhere.
Somewhere concealed.
I like a bush.
Empty barrel.
And a slightly less
Set
savoury
him on fire.
neighbourhood,
I mean,
people are
yeah.
more likely to ignore an unconscious body in the street.
So I'm assuming you're walking
good point.
over the bridge, though, at this point.
Yeah.
You've decided to
Yeah,
go in
living,
that
yeah.
direction. Okay, go.
Okay, so we need to keep trotting down this hill till we find a big bush.
Let's go.
Yeah. Now, you're actually quite a ways from the shore.
We are looking for a bush. Just a bush. Just like someone's front hedge.
There's plenty of them around this area. Like
What
I
about
said.
like a front garden hedge? Just
You're on a main road. If you literally went one street over, I'm sure you'd find one.
Yeah, let's go straight over just so it's slightly less populated. so-
Let's get rid of
We're walking, but also talking about these things.
Yes,
so
of
yeah,
course
let
we
us
are.
make a short left and then a right and then fine.
In this cul-de-sac, there is a small set of bushes and a statue. You can literally dump Jasper in there and leave.
Just
So
gonna gently
we arrange him
fence.
like he's just laid down for a sleep,
Yes.
which he has effectively.
Hands clasped under his face.
Do you
Yeah.
want to leave a note for him?
Just
or
a happy
No, I
sleep.
think he'll be able to figure out what happened. Last time he saw us, we were all fighting suits of armor that
Okay.
reanimated.
We'll just hope for a bit of memory loss after the whack he got.
But no, I don't even need to worry about that because it is all about. He's not likely to tattle. He was one of the people who was in there.
Shall we find a different alley and pop the older gentleman in it?
I would like to have a conversation with the
Yeah, I
older
want to keep
gentleman.
him till he wakes up.
There's no
Okay.
need. I know.
fair
I'm not
enough.
promising I won't kill him. I'm not promising I will.
That is all I ask from you at this point in time.
Consider the possibility of not
Who
killing him.
grabbed the old man?
Rylan.
I didn't.
Right, sorry.
I
just
don't
keeping
know
track.
if Dupree will like that we had.
Look, we can.
The old
He's
guy.
guy's still unconscious. He's not waking up anytime soon. We established that
We'll just
earlier.
we'll have a conversation. We'll just
Yeah.
figure out from there.
I'm going to rip a bit of cloth off Jasper's shirt and blindfold the old guy.
Okay, he's got a sort of small overcoat. Oh, not overcoat. What do you call them? Like coat that kind of comes up to here. It's like a vest with sleeves.
Clothes. She's so dashing.
No, like his shirt. Is he wearing a shirt under the coat?
Yes, he is. It's a rather nice looking shirt.
Don't be bad.
Too bad, man.
Okay, so I'm
It
assuming
probably happened in the
It's
fight.
now a
with the
rather
things.
nice looking tank top.
Show off his rocket abs. Does Jasper have rocket abs?
he does have rockin' abs.
Nice.
Something for the ladies.
Well, this one
It's
at least.
the straight ladies,
And-
yeah.
yeah, just for me. And Abelle's just like, hey guys, wait. I just need to look. Okay, yeah, committed to memory. All right, we're good.
Just draw a picture, would
The
you?
odd red, like,
I want to do want to clarify a point about tieflings in this world, though. Tieflings do not have color discoloration. They generally have horns or claws or a tail or something that looks roughly demonic about their appearance, but they do not have discolorations.
So the same color as people.
They're people's skin color.
yeah, that's weird and I don't like it.
You
Shut up,
racist.
The fact he has two little horn nubs coming out of his
So
forehead.
Daniel Radcliffe in that film.
Well,
Yeah.
not really, because he had far more pronounced ones. But my point, like,
Oh, okay, so
he's-
how big are we talking?
so basically nubs,
nubs.
really, little nub.
Because I've seen
Happy little-
pictures and they
happy
were
little
like sort
nubs.
of.
Yeah, they roll over and back. He, for whatever reason, has little nubs. He does have a specially made pair of trousers, just since we were going over.
Trousers with 4 legs, is it?
One at the front, one at the back for the
No.
tail.
He has a little hole for the tail.
Yeah, it's almost like a small pant leg. It's very tiny. It allows
How
him.
long does it go? Does it
The tail?
all the way
It's-
up? No, not the tail. The pant leg. I don't care about the tail. No, like the tail. So how long is the tail?
The tail could easily go to the ground and then wrap around the front of his feet.
Is it prehensile?
You're not seeing him use it prehensively, but he.
No, just generally.
Oh, as in, can he move it?
Do
Yeah.
tieflings? Can they? Like, would it be a third limb for picking shit up?
It would be a very poor limb for him to use. It is very thin. It's It's like your cartoon devil style thing, like the
Oh,
spade
okay, so it's
style
not
thing.
like a.
Or he could perhaps, like for instance, wrap it around a dagger handle. He wouldn't necessarily be able to stab someone with it,
But he could lift.
but he could lift it. Yeah, like
And how long does this pant leg go up this tail?
it's literally like a 2 inches.
okay,
Back. So
so
it's just a
not
little
like-
opening.
He,
but
he
it
doesn't want to get cold or no. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Roland has a tail, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't believe it's prehensile.
And-
Again,
Yeah,
like
it's
I'm
not useful, but yeah.
It is a tail. Could she ditch it if she was attacked?
Do we want to progress?
We do.
Blindfold
Keep-
man, left
keep-
Jasper.
Keep heading downwards.
Keep Jasper's shoes.
Do we want to keep?
He needs those for walking.
Maybe
already
just
ripped his
tie him
shirt.
up with his laces.
No.
To be fair, they are rather fancy looking shoes.
How
Because
like
he's
how
dashing.
hard wearing do they look?
Oh my
I
God,
need
They
no.
look. They look like.
Shut up, you.
They look like dress shoes. Like I said, they look.
Nine. I'm good.
Look, I've already ripped his shirt open. Let's just leave it at that.
I mean, like, we can't continue on dressing
you
him.
be all high and mighty who robbed him.
Yeah, but that's different. Like, a man's shoes is
is
one
it really?
thing.
You
He
stole his
robbed-
knives.
She's a
Yeah,
thief,
but
not a
I
murderer.
needed those.
I didn't
You know,
steal his
maybe.
shoes.
No, I'm just saying she's a thief.
No, you
not
tried
a
to
murderer.
encourage her to steal his shoes.
No, I
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, the road winds. It is actually like a pretty direct road. It finishes up in a town square that is pretty close to the seaside. It is about 5:30 now. It's taking about half an hour to walk the length of this.
This guy's heavy. Can we get there already?
So you're basically at the docks area. But to get to where you need to go with 2 unconscious people,
Would be a trick.
it would be a trick because now people are starting to wake up. Bakers, for instance, have started cooking.
Well, they would have been awake at 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I say they're starting to cook, I mean like they'd be taking their stuff out of the oven. They'd be setting up stores. People are starting to wake up.
Yeah.
You are, like I said, you're in this town square, and you can already see like the blacksmith started setting his fire and his little smithy that he's got that's attached to what you assume is his house.
What can we see around? Are there presumably many buildings?
Yeah, it's effectively an enclosed square with one open facing towards the sea.
Like taverns?
There is a tavern to your left called the Randy Harlot. To your right, there is a smithy, bakery, and fishmongers.
Should we
All
continue
female
down
football team,
through
anyway.
the docks, pretending to be drunk?
All right, so you're walking along the foreshore. You see on the docks a lot of dock hands, moving cargo, not really paying much attention, and frankly, none of them are, even if they do notice you, they don't care because they've seen people do bump crawls before.
Guys, it's working.
Shut up. The early morning sunrise brings a dead sea
Clarence
stink.
feel?
Well, go well.
Can you smell that? Yeah, it smells like dwarf.
Good God, it's like trying to herd cats in here. Okay, so yes, like I said, early morning, there's the sort of awful smell from the dead fish, industrial
Sailors.
waste. You're at the sunken cask.
Hooray, we made it!
Getting through this door.
I assume you
is
go through the
gonna
front door, yeah?
be- Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go down.
We made it.
Hey,
down
back
the
to
stick.
more drinking.
You go down the staircase, we push the door open, and bell chimes. The place is empty.
This is good.
Oh, they probably put the bell there in case anyone wanders in. Like
It's
us.
funny you say that because you do hear a bit of movement from the back. A rather large noise.
Tankred?
I'm putting the dwarf in a chair.
Tankred does poke his head around from the back, looking through the doorway. He's wearing a blue nightcap.
Fantastic. What color is Tankred's skin?
Tan-
Wait, is it
Tankred's,
half dwarf? Half orc.
Orc.
So it's green.
Well, it might be a light green. Like
it is a
More
light.
of a
It's
lime
pea
rather than a
green, or
pea
we were like
green.
a pea? No, not a pea green.
Not a pea
like,
green, but more
not
of
a
a-
lime green. It's a sort of an aquamarine.
Right, like bam! Mint?
What else? What's your
Who
club?
cares? What's his
He's seasick green. Can we move on?
Abella. What color is that? This is normally the color of the last thing you ate.
Josh, shut up.
Okay, so
Blueberries.
Tankred pokes his head out. He's wearing a little nightcap, blue nightcap, and he seems a little bit bewildered by the fact that you're here.
With 2 dead guys. Well, a dead
Well, he
Oh,
from his
you guys.
perspective, he sees
Morning.
from his perspective, he sees a dwarf that appears to just be unconscious in a chair, an old man over someone's shoulder, and you guys are all looking quite roughed up. I mean, not injured and bleeding necessarily, but
Oh, I took a couple of blows.
We've had not great days.
I'm okay.
someone who looks
Yeah.
battle. Like you're seeing a
Rhylind spotted.
Rhylind. Yeah.
Ryan's got a bit of a shiner.
Regardless, you're not looking too crash hot. Tankred looks out and goes,
Shall I fix you some drinks?
You've read my mind.
and
Tankred.
good stiff rum, my friend.
Just give me a moment to get changed.
And a tankard for the dwarf.
What are you going to do? Tip it over his head?
Tankred disappears into the
One
back.
in honor of.
You know, I think that would be what he wants.
Yeah, he would like that.
He would.
Hey, Dead Clarence, do you want a beer over your head?
I've stolen your money. You're paying, man. It's your round. Because you actually didn't get the last one.
Tankred disappears, and a few minutes later, he comes out from the service door carrying a bottle of rum and a number of glasses. He puts them down on the table in front of Clarence and goes,
It's on the house. You look like you've had a rough night.
Oh, you're a champ.
Dankeschön, Dankeschön.
Listen.
Tankred, mein good man.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you know the location of Dupree de Pont?
I believe he'll be here presently.
Marvelous. Dankeschön.
I was actually setting up a breakfast. Can I ask Deirdre to put on some bacon and eggs for you if you like?
That would be lovely.
That would be marvelous. Dinner for 5. 6?
No problem. Would you like me to bring a bucket of water to sort him out.
We'll we'll clean him up.
He could use a wash.
It's a good start.
He reeked something awful. I mean, he didn't think he drank that much last night.
Yeah, this would be good, yeah.
You could just tell him I'm dead, as opposed to playing
I don't need
puppet shows with my corpse.
No, we have two guys who are good with the magic
sneaks up behind
hands.
you and just like gets your hand just like,
Yes.
hello,
I am so good.
dwarf. Look at me drink this thing.
Let's not.
Okay.
Advice
So are we-
regarding old men.
Are we taking our rum and moving to a private room, or are we just...
Tankred takes his leave.
May I propose a toast to the late Clarence Longbottom, since Tankred's not in the room.
Yeah, he's popped out the back to put on the grill.
May he find peace in the afterlife.
May the wounded god take him into his throng.
You toast the late, great Clarence.
And in the meantime, Tankred brings out your breakfast.
Digging so much.
Yeah.
Pockets.
God, you're just going to have, like, a fine film of grease on your body by the end of this. That will be
He's a halfling. He probably
We'll be like-
already does.
We'll be like, hey Nez, can you get into this tight
Second
space and we'll just
breakfast?
squeeze through?
I take Clarence's
Let's be honest,
food.
this is the pen.
Take Clarence's food and put it into a pocket.
He's got baggies. We remember there's each pocket contains a small plastic lining. No.
Well, I know I'm going to use this bacon at some point.
There's 8 pieces of bacon, of which I'm assuming you take 2. These are nicely done, and they're actually really well cooked. Like, again, as anything you've experienced here is really delicious.
Oh, Tankred.
This is
Stop
yeah.
it.
Not me, the wife.
Oh, Deirdre,
wonderful.
stop it.
Compliments the cook.
I'll let her know. And he toddles off. Oh, and Mr. DuPont is in the room out the back. Should I tell him you're out here?
Yeah, dankeschön.
So, a moment later, DuPont, who's looking rather flustered, comes out from the back room and goes, well,
Morning.
No, hello?
Good morning.
I'm just still eating.
Well, I'm actually, to be quite honest with you, I'm quite surprised you're even here, since the bowman
Well-
hasn't even returned.
One of us died, so...
What do you mean one of you died?
Clarence, he's actually not alive.
Anymore.
The dwarf is...
Yeah, he's
Then
actually
why
not.
is he here?
I wasn't going to leave him there.
Yeah.
God,
We've also there's the other.
There may
dude
be an
over-
elderly servant of the man.
who's he?
We're not quite sure, but he tried to
We
kill
can
us.
explain. Okay, so
He looks very, very upset.
First things first.
look. I know you're mad. I tried to kill him.
Kill him!
You see, that was my reaction.
You were supposed to get in and swap a box!
We did, and we were leaving, and the old man comes in and goes, "Stop!"
And then Skairn harpooned him.
Nine,
Which is basically the end of that story.
I did not harpoon
Or
him.
tried
You
to, at
missed.
least.
I missed, and he dropped dead.
You didn't miss on purpose.
I didn't miss on purpose, but I did miss.
And then Clarence sacrificed
Wait,
himself to save the old man's
wait,
life. So
wait.
it felt wrong to kill him, so we brought him here because he's, let's face it, he can probably work out who the hell I am.
Yeah.
And I can't have that. So you're going to have to deal with this situation.
Our thinking was, we didn't want us to be easy to trace to the second most powerful man.
So you bring the manservant of the second most powerful wizard
tried to kill him.
in the entire city.
Yeah.
And then you bring him here to meet me.
Nine, I'm with you on this.
He's
Just leave
blindfolded.
him behind a bush somewhere and let him awake.
I just want to...
Why is he here? Where is my chest?
Okay,
He's
so we-
actually like just gone very quiet and he's very insistent. Where is my chest?
It's on your body.
Where is our money?
Your money is waiting for you
Yeah.
when you present the chest.
Your chest is waiting for you when you present the money.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do not have time for this. You've already complete. Why did you bring him here?
We didn't. We did the job. The thing is in my pocket. You're welcome to have it, and soon as I see the money.
Fine. Put it on the table. I'll be back in a moment. He turns and he just swans out of the room.
Can I kill him later?
Feel free, my
I'm
dear.
seriously tempted.
So DuPont reemerges from the back, as does Tankred, and Tankred is actually hefting a rather large-looking crossbow. He's not holding it at you, but he's got it pretty much ready to go. He's also got a meat cleaver stashed in the side where his apron is, and he looks not unwilling to be there, but more like the kind of... He has the look on his face of someone who's being paid for a job and When he takes on a job, he completes the job.
Quick question: is he bigger than me?
Tankred is quite large. He is probably at the very least your equal. Yeah.
Just want to get an idea of how we do in a fight.
He's easily your equal.
There is 4 of us.
That is also
And
true.
I'm no slouch myself.
Well, let's see what he has to say first.
Nothing.
I'm not proposing that we
Yeah,
kill.
I'm not going to attack him.
Tankred said,
But
like,
if he comes at me, I
he's
want to
coming
know.
off as shut up, Clarence.
Let's just see what DuPont
Well,
has to
I
say.
get to come in after whatever it is you guys do. So.
If we survive it.
So DuPont pulls up the bag of what he assumes is your fee, puts his hand in, pulls out a coin, puts it on a table that's next to him. He pulls out another one and does the same thing, and then puts his hands in, rummages it around, pulls out another one, puts it down. There. The money's here. Where's the chest?
I show him. I pull out. Show him.
Okay.
And look, I can't open.
He seems actually pretty satisfied with that and seems to relax a little bit.
This man, we did not know, but there was something of a disagreement about what to do with him. Abella said we should let him live. I said we should definitely kill him. Rhylind found a lovely middle ground where we just bring him with us and deal with it later. Let us be honest, the place you sent us, dangerous, scary, full of traps, irritating. I also lost my dead fairy, which was very irritating.
Crosses on your shoulder and he's got his back up and he's sort of doing that cat hiss look at DuPont at this point.
I was like, this is good. Mine. Calm. I calm the small dragon down. So, we are not... I have myself no problem with the job that we were hired to do. Interesting that you dobbed yourself in.
He immediately starts to frown when you say that. You read the contents of the chest.
Well, duh.
Your chest, not this.
You were not supposed to look at that. I asked you to replace it.
It does not matter. The fact is
Look,
that it has
DuPont,
happened.
You can do whatever the hell you like, as long as it's not going to kill me in the immediate.
You make a very good point. I should not be losing my tether, as it were. So, I'll be very simple. You were supposed to get in quietly, replace the item, and then leave. Has that been done?
The thing is that
All right.
it is not replaced so much as your box with a message. That is there.
See, because to me, it sounded like you went in, destroyed half the man's belongings.
Nine, not half.
And most, of course.
In fairness
His
to us,
belongings did try to
yeah.
destroy us.
some of the belongings are quite animated, literally animated. And there was many murder attempts on us by the belongings. I'm sure
None
you
of
are not
which
unaware of this.
succeeded.
You presumably know this man. One of which actually, good point.
He's dead. Let's not beat around the
A
bush
man
here.
is dead.
I will meet you halfway. This has not been the most ideal of jobs.
Yeah?
But you did achieve your objective, so
Yeah.
I will pay you.
Yeah, fucking right, yeah.
But now I have to deal with this, points at the manservant, and this,
Why?
the dead dwarf.
9. On this, I would disagree with you. The manservant, yeah, possibly. The dead dwarf, that is our concern. You do not have to deal with this. Is basically a place to come that we knew that he would not be a bleeding dwarf on my shoulder. We knew would not be a problem in this place right now. We will deal. This is us. This old man, well, however you may feel about us knowing the contents of the letter, I don't actually see how it is relevant. I'm not actually certain why you, but one way or the other, we know what it is. We know what it says. It fingers you and not us. This man is the only man who can finger us, who can say it is us.
Now what you've done is you've presented me with the problem. Rather than just having something there that he would be perhaps looking at sometime in the future, he's now going to be seeing immediately because you've destroyed half his tower by the sounds of it.
This
And
was not
Did you forget the
avoidable.
little part where the last 2 guys you sent in there never came out again?
Oh, yeah, we found
expecting
them.
this to be easy.
Recognize
yeah, and they're
this
dead,
shield?
by the way.
What happened to him?
last time I saw him, nice statue work.
Very,
the
very
defense
good.
is
Regardless.
quite impressive.
Regardless, the job entails you surreptitiously replacing the item, perhaps making Reginald think that your reasoning for being there was for something else. But I thought they were far more competent than they ended up being. You all I handpicked from my intelligence network. A debutante who who happens to be quite handy with thievery and has rather good connections with the underworld of the Bashano Republic. A rather stalwart warrior who's fallen from grace, who perhaps could use a bit of elbow grease when it comes to introductions. A dwarf who was a reputable and, quite frankly, very hard to kill cleric who could perhaps mend to you if you encountered these said traps.
In fairness, he did.
And then he died.
And then he
Yes.
got himself killed by mending this one.
No, because he was
Don't know,
trying to
dead
mentor
Clarence.
you, and you ignored his mentorship.
Dead Clarence.
Yeah, dead Clarence, shut up.
None of them would have got anywhere without me, so you had a bit of oversight there.
I'm curious.
No, he actually does
Who
have a
is-
point there.
How did, yeah.
How did you end up
I'd be
doing
honest,
this?
we only got...
Do you honestly think that Tankred would have invited you at the back if I didn't intend for you to be there?
He didn't. I walked in, there was food.
You didn't get a letter? One instructing you to get the Roquet read? Does this mean anything to you?
This is good point.
You had to be employed to begin with.
I never got the
So you
impression...
didn't hire him for
And
his
lastly, you,
musical talent.
Skairn.
Yeah.
You, I know, are looking for your sister. You, I know, are quite adept at skullduggery, given your reputation as something of a pirate.
Kind of you to say.
They also happen to have a pseudo-dragon, which is an intelligent creature that is partial to magic, something you could perhaps use as a canary in the mine shaft, as it were. But it appears that you'd much rather bashing your way through any trouble that comes towards you.
It was very effective.
As I recall from the analogy, the canary often died. Don't worry.
That makes Clarence the canary then.
Yeah. This is not funny. I mean,
That is
it
a
sort
bit.
of is,
It's a
but our
bit
characters should not be laughing.
I hate
I did laugh.
all of you.
The dwarf is just very talkative for a corpse.
I suppose the last thing I need to ask you all is there anything you're not telling me?
I lost 2 hours on the mission. You owe me for those, business expenses.
I'm sure you can be recompensed in the agreed fee. Well, now I have disposal costs, so I might have to take that out of yours. Unless you're willing to do it yourself, in which case, fine, I don't care, as long as the problem is dealt with.
But when you say disposal costs, are you advocating killing the old man?
Of course, what do you think he's going to do?
No!
I take out the harpoon and kill him.
Carried.
Okay, you draw out your harpoon and then drive it into the old man, who makes a gasping wheeze and a bit of blood comes out of his mouth, and he dies.
Holy shit! What the fuck is wrong
with you?
Stan? We carried him all this goddamn way!
This man down a fucking mountain.
She carried this man down a fucking mountain!
My shoulder hurts. And my face.
Oh, I've been wanting to kill that guy for ages.
But you just obviously don't have the skill to do so until he's unconscious.
He's lying still. I take out the harpoon, stab him in the
No,
neck.
dead Clarence, you go right ahead. This is deserved.
Okay. Tankred actually looks really upset.
Uncomfortable.
No, upset. Visibly upset about this. Doesn't say anything, but he's gripping his crossbow a little bit harder and he's looking at you directly and he does not look impressed.
So, does this place have a back door?
Yeah, we went through it last time. There was water there.
Got any rocks?
Hey,
Oh my god.
Tankred, this was his idea.
With respect, sir, you're the one who stabbed him with a harpoon.
I am completely.
Mine
agreeing with
apologies,
this.
Tankred. This was not intended to happen in your... the moment I met this man, he was dead. It is
Oh no, the
unfortunate.
moment you stabbed him with the
He was
harpoon,
very
he was
alive when I
dead.
carried him down a fucking mountain.
It was only a matter of time.
Oh, God.
Tankred doesn't look happy about this either way. I'm so sorry, Tankred. You weren't supposed to be here for that.
You know, can't blame him.
I'm not very happy about this.
A short halfling...
I have no regrets.
A short halfling woman pokes her head out from behind the door. And
I have regrets now. Why would you do that?
Tankred, what's happening?
Oh, you must be Deirdre. Thank you for the breakfast. It's been
Deirdre,
lovely.
this bacon is absolutely
Rhylind
wonderful.
just quickly steps in front of the dead body.
The call?
Bodies.
Tankred just goes,
Everything's fine, dear. If you just go out the back and tend to the calls, I'll come and see you shortly.
My dear, may I have another course?
sure, no problem. And she ducks back out.
Dankeschön.
Tankred looks ropeable at this point.
Really step in front of
Can you think about food?
Are you serious?
I'm not actually hungry. I was getting out of the room.
Cut through the crap, gentlemen and ladies. We have And he lowers his voice. We have 2 corpses to deal with.
You're welcome.
You could have at least waited until we were somewhere. This has, apart from the fact that you've actually completed your objective, you are perhaps the worst contractors I've ever employed.
You know, at this point, I don't know if I can disagree with you.
I would disagree with that.
I would
Because
just
there
like
was
to
a
remind
gnome and a
everyone-
halfling who were verse.
At least they had the good conscience to die.
Oh.
Well, one of us did that for you as well.
We've covered all bases. Wasn't there a talk of boating us to a place? We got you the box.
You can accompany me to Oreme if you must.
That sounds good for us. I don't want to be in this town any longer.
No, I think leaving's a good
Can we
idea.
have a day or two to find dead
I'm leaving in
Clarence's?
an hour, so you have an hour if you must. I'll be at Pier 23.
Oh, fast. That's fine. We'll work that out later.
I'll find a shrine, leave him there, get the priest to deal with it.
Okay.
So yeah, DuPont walks over to the chest, picks it up, turns his back on you and walks to the back of the room and mucks about with it on the bar. While Tankred sort of just stands there, a little bit nonplussed as to what he's doing, but still quite unhappy about the entire situation. After a minute, you hear like a click and a whir, and the box opens, and DuPont immediately pulls what sounds like paper out of the chest, reaches over and grabs a plate from behind the bar, puts the documents in there.
Clicks his fingers, and the documents burst into flames.
Well, it's good to see that one of us died for something you immediately burn.
Couldn't you have just asked us to destroy the box?
You wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah?
You can keep the box if you like, and he throws it on the floor. It's completely useless to me now.
I didn't trust it. It's
Yeah. Nah. I don't trust if someone catches us with it.
So, can you remind me, did he say his father was in the city? And did he mention how to find him?
I actually don't recall any conversation about
Because I do.
magical. I think we need to find a dwarf temple.
It's not a spatial thing, it's
He's part of Old Crom, so the old
the wounded god.
which is bars and war shrines and
Which
all
isn't
that sort of stuff.
necessarily helpful. But I feel like a temple would help a corpse to get to its place.
So the way the religions work, though, is gods reside in things that are appropriate to them.
Yeah.
So for Old Crom, it's war shrines and stuff like that.
Dupree, knowing so much about us, do you know where I might find Clarence's father?
3 streets over and about 1 or 2 intervals down main streets. You'll see it. You can't miss it.
Duncan.
He has visibly calmed down as well. He's like a lot more relaxed than he was. Even though he was quite upset, he still is.
The fire.
Yeah, no, destroying those documents, whatever they were, has completely alleviated any sense of stress or ill that he had towards you before. He's much more reasonable. Anyone else want to say anything or do anything? Again, Tankred's just there. The box is near his feet. He's, again, just kind of acting as the peacemaker.
I'm wondering this as actor rather than character.
Yeah?
Should we talk to him about Jasper, maybe?
Nine.
Ask him? No?
No.
No?
We already did not. Everything is good.
Okay.
Opening old wounds.
Jasper's also unaware of what you were there for.
Never mind.
Jasper knows nothing important.
Jasper knows nothing except our faces and is unlikely to reveal that.
He also knows who you're working for.
But that's
We don't need
I'm
to
okay
delve.
with him knowing that. Yeah.
because we probably won't.
And who we were
work
working
again.
for doesn't need to know that.
No, but I'm just making sure you're aware of that. Though.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty happy to get out of this city.
I'm
I
all
would
up.
suggest that the least conspicuous of us do some dead body removal.
Yeah. So,
Hesitantly.
but that would be you and me.
And may I suggest, and you're not going to like this, but you leave Frosh behind.
I was actually just thinking that, Krosh, my good little friend, stay with Rhylind. And because you have...
He looks like, I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Look, we're buddies now, you know? You sat on my shoulder before when he was going through the curtain.
So I'll be right back. It's just the dead dwarf. You know these things happen.
He jumps onto the table in front of Clarence and does the weird cat arch, rolls on his back, and
Yeah.
makes a bit of a chirp noise. He wants his belly scratched.
Rhylind obliges.
Yeah. I give him a spare piece of bacon. Good lad. Stay.
Wolf sat down.
Yeah. Und Abella, I'll pick him up again, but you and I will go. And
Dwarf or old man?
We're going to his father.
Cool, let's do that.
Yeah.
And maybe while we do that, maybe there can be some assistance for our friend Tankred, who is in the unfortunate position of having to dispose of a corpse.
Got a mop.
Deirdre comes out from the back with another round of food, quite quickly actually, and walks past everyone and just seems completely oblivious as to the fact there are 2 corpses in the room, and places the plate down in front of Krosh. Krosh leans in to bite some of the bacon and she taps him on the head and goes, "No. No." Turns around and goes, "Oh, if you bring that out, I'll sort him out with a hatchet," and then walks out the back.
I look at, as she goes,
Yeah.
I look at Tankred and say, "You are a very lucky man.
I do know that, sir.
Mine admiration for you. Well done."
Right, that seems to be taken care of, shall
Yeah.
we?
And as they leave, just as a nice gesture, I pull out my guitar and cast Prestidigitation on the blood on the floor to clean
Yep.
the area, and then just continue on making some music
So
to
what-
seem to lighten the mood.
So, diddy. So what's happening? Who's doing what?
Fiddly potatoes.
I believe Skairn has got dead comrade, and we are walking.
Dead Clarence.
Well, he's also our dead comrade.
Yeah, but I like the name Dead Clarence.
Okay.
It's one you coined.
We've got dead Clarence, and we're going to find his daddy.
Should I write that on my items?
Okay, so Skairn and Abella are currently carrying Clarence's corpse.
Come on, Clarence,
Dead
let's go
Clarence.
and see your dad.
normal
you
Clarence.
drunk.
Perfectly
Okay, so-
normal
all right,
Clarence,
so-
perfectly alive Clarence. I'm doing
Yeah, we go out through the front door.
good. Yeah.
I guess you just drag Clarence up the stairs and then...
Between us.
On our way,
Yeah.
can we discuss how we deal with this?
Yes. I was gonna
Sure,
say I'd like
I'm
to.
not. I'm sort
Okay.
of for dumping the body and knocking.
No, we cannot do that.
All right.
We cannot just leave his son's corpse in front of his door. Knock, knock becomes a like, oh, yep, lovely day. Slightly drizzling, oh, there's my dead son.
Okay. Sure. So that was the initial thought.
The look on Tristan's face.
The look on dead Clarence's face. He's trying to roll in his grave.
Okay. So
But we haven't put him out yet.
that was my idea.
This is the worst party in the 13 years I've played D&D that I've had to deal with.
What are you talking about? Okay, so what is your plan,
Sorry.
Bella? What are you saying? Are you going to explain to the old...
I think we both should actually, especially
Yeah.
considering it's kind of, sort of, not
No,
your
you
not
do
fault.
not.
Fault is not the word I'll use.
No, this is
but
his fault.
responsibility. I would
Give
I'd
me
say.
my father my share of the job as well.
Fuck you. 9.
Okay, I have an idea. So, you
Yeah.
stay out of sight.
Yeah, this is
with the
probably a good
corpse.
idea.
I will knock,
Meet him.
make sure that he's who he says he
This
is.
is a good call. Carrying dead dwarf between us.
No, you're going to be out of sight.
No.
with
We're
dead Clarence.
having this conversation. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, yep. So this is why we're talking
This
over
is
dead
mental image
Clarence.
is wonderful. It's an elf and a half elf with a dwarf between them going, so how do we deal with this other old elderly, possibly cantankerous dwarf? I don't know.
We very gently, or I will very gently
Yeah,
break
this
the
is
news.
good,
I'll just say, look, we've had some very sad news to tell you. Your son was in an unfortunate incident in which we were all adventurers. We use the word adventurous
Do you want
rather
the word
than
mental
thieves.
culpability?
Okay.
Yeah. No. Carry on. Yeah.
And we thought it was our duty to present.
Bring him
Body is a bad word.
Corpse? 9. This
Is
is
a
not
bad word. Return your. Thank you, dead
Remains.
Your
Clarence.
son died trying to save a man
He did absolutely.
who'd been injured in battle.
noble.
It was noble.
Injured in battle. Thank you, Rhylind. So
Keren is here.
Yeah.
Ryland's back in the pub with her feet up on a chair.
Possibly on the lap of a dead old guy.
we were in battle alongside your
That old guy's
son,
being
and
butchered.
he sacrificed his life to save an innocent.
You think that's
and
bacon
now
you're
we
eating?
have brought him home to you as a final act of reconciliation. And my companion has him. just over there.
Where do you want him?
That's well, yeah.
I don't know about reconciliation as a measure of respect. I would actually begin it far simpler. As
Yeah.
a measure of respect to fallen comrade, we bring him to you.
You rock up to the Longbottom family smithy. It's a converted bakery. It has a wooden door on the left, a large window on the right, and inside the windowsill you can see various arms laid out on a inclined table.
We knock 4 times.
So what, you're both standing at the door, or are you doing the thing that Abella said, which is you stand out the way?
No, we're probably bracing in between us still. I think we've abandoned the one of us stays out of sight idea. We're just hidden with the dead son. It's fine.
Good morning. morning. Hello.
This is your boy.
You may recognize this.
Okay.
He hasn't even opened the door yet.
So after a minute or two, you hear some muttering and rustling inside, and the door opens, and there is a dwarf sitting there in what looks like blacksmithing garb. He's got coal smears all over himself. He looks at Abella. He looks at Skairn. He doesn't even look at the dwarf between. He goes, "What?"
Hello. Is this what's his name?
Longbottom, Clarence Longbottom.
Is this Mr. Longbottom?
I'm Mrs. Longbottom.
Hello, Mrs. Longbottom?
Yes.
Are you the mother of one Clarence Longbottom? Clarence Longbottom, our good, faithful comrade.
At the moment you say that, she actually puts her hands up to her mouth and is shaking, and has actually now looked at the dwarf between you.
And she just starts wailing.
Our sincere apologies.
Cautiously put my arms around and kneel first. And then
Fucking.
There's a rustling from the back of the room, and another dwarf similarly set up with blacksmith gear comes out. "What's you wailing for, woman?"
just patting her on the back.
Sire Longbottom, yeah?
Aye.
On the matter of your son, Clarence?
He actually has stopped and lowered the large hammer he had in his hand.
Yeah.
Aye.
I am Skairn. This is Abella.
Hello.
Your son's comrades. His wishes. This is. Mine
He drops the
apologies.
hammer at that. Like,
Mine apologies. This is somewhat awkward. His wishes was that he was brought back to you. It is a highly regrettable situation. He was very noble, very good friend and comrade.
okay, so while you're saying this,
But he is
Mr.
also this
Longbottom.
person suspended from my neck.
yeah, Mr. Longbottom has basically sort of just gone glass-eyed and is not even really looking at you at this point. Mrs. Longbottom is...
Excuse me, may I come in?
he sort of shakes his river. He goes, shall I put a cup of tea on for you?
That'd probably be a good idea.
That would be
yes.
lovely. Yeah. Or yeah.
Do you know? I'll make it.
You do. Yeah.
I'll
You
make
make
it.
the coffee.
Just
I
gingerly
bring.
leave.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mrs. Longbottom's not letting go of you.
Oh, okay, I'll stay.
And she's sobbing.
How about we all make the tea
You make the
together?
tea. I will sit Clarence down.
You people suck.
I have to say, given the number of dead people who I've dead relatives I've consoled, as in people who have dead relatives I have consoled, this is never how it's gone before.
Mrs. Longbottom has let go of Abella and runs over to Clarence and is holding him and crying. Mr. Longbottom is being very stoic at the moment, and is sort of doing that thing where you've been knocked for a 6, you don't know what's quite happening, and is kind of just pottering around.
I very
Really upset.
gently approach Mr. Longbottom. Is there a particularly respectful place we could return your son to you? In here?
Yeah, I just
can move a hammer.
Bring the boy. Bring him back out the back, and I'll put him on one of my tables. We'll take care of him. Thank you kindly for bringing him back to us. He's got big fat tear rolls down his.
I actually think I'm going to
cheek.
cry.
He's very upset, but clearly trying to be quite strong about it. Mrs. Longbottom's not having a bar of it. She's he walks over to her and goes, He knew the risk, my love. Just let's see to him.
He was a very brave man and died doing what he believed was right.
He died protecting an innocent.
Yeah, he did.
You're very kind. And Mrs. Longbottom goes, that was our Clarence.
Yeah,
He always looked after you.
he's a good man. We should leave. These poor people to their grief. Like,
Goodbye. We'll leave you to your grief.
again, our deepest condolences.
If you don't mind me asking, who are you?
Friends of your late son. A good man.
Can you tell me how he died? Did he die strong and upstanding?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely, shut up, not present, Rhylind. Or did Clarence?
I'm not saying anything.
Fucking right. He died upstanding and on fighting for the good.
It's kind, thank you.
Bitte schön.
If you don't mind, I have to close up shop.
Yeah, no.
Definitely, of
We
course.
shall leave.
Yeah, we'll leave.
Yeah.
That was so sad.
Pity that my father couldn't have, my weapon.
It's a shame, isn't it? But I need it.
Don't fucking need it.
I have a club!
You're not even proficient with warhammers. You take
You're dead. Shut up there,
disadvantage.
Clarence.
No, I'm just saying, you're disadvantaged to use warhammers.
Really?
You're not proficient with them.
But I have
You
an
give it to
axe,
me. I'm proficient with martial weapons.
No, back at the tavern. Deirdre is currently making very large chopping noises in the back. Deirdre is
Bit of dripping.
chopping the corpse. Tankred is actually standing just next to the bar, looking a little green in the face, which is surprising for an orc.
Like, more?
She's from the gnomish
When you're talking
mafia.
green, are we talking green? Like, what are we saying here?
Green.
Or this green?
Sick up.
Like that
He's
green?
looking a bit
That green?
sickly.
That's orc green, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, they'll put it this way: he's greener than he normally is, and it's probably because of what's happening in the other room. He's not particularly he's not particularly at home to what's happening.
Question: has Deidre done this several times? I feel
Deirdre
like
has
she's
done this more
experienced.
than once.
Right. Game of cards. Take your mind off things. I mean, it's not quite battlefield amputations, but it's in the same tilt yard.
No, I'm fine.
Whereabouts is your lovely Deidre from?
She's from Ardfallen. But she's got family everywhere.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, so DuPont's still with you. He's sitting to the side at a table drinking a glass of port. He's waiting for your compatriots to get back so he can give you your boat ride.
I might just count the money real quick.
DuPont's not listening.
So I open the bag and look inside.
Yep. It's all there.
It's all
It's
there?
the money that was agreed is there.
I have a quick count, ascertain that, and then close it and put it to one side.
How much? 400 or 500?
The agreement was 500.
It was
Wow.
for the 5 of us, not the 4 of us.
This silence is getting a bit poignant.
You don't have to punctuate it.
Nezor! How about a bit more of that progressive jazz?
That's not, again, what it is, but I'll do something.
Oh, sing me a song.
You're the piano man.
I don't suppose, Tankred, I could bother you for some water and a bit of cloth. I've got this bit of blood on my face. I should probably...
No, that's fine. Give me a moment.
He disappears at the back. DuPont drains his glass, puts it down, and goes, well, I think I will see you at the ship.
You're going to leave?
Is there any reason I can't?
Well, the hour's not up yet, that's all.
No, but we're not casting off till then anyway, so you can either come with me.
Yes, but remember the whole business with you
Oh,
being
you
a
tiresome boy.
liar?
Fine, whatever. He sits back down and goes, Tankred, if you could get me another bottle of port, that would be wonderful.
So, what's a taunting?
He looks at you and goes, well, to be quite frank, a tontine is an agreement of sorts, if you must know. I assume you're referring to the golden tontine, since you've obviously read my letter.
If it makes you feel better, everyone in this room has read the letter.
Wonderful. That's exactly what I want. The tontine was, now I look back at it, a bit of a fantasy, to be quite honest with you, and that's why I invested most of my inheritance in it. I really hoped that it would pay off, but it became more of a liability. It links me to a group of people I do not want to be associated with, especially since, quite frankly, some of them have been killed.
If you want discretion, maybe don't hire people with dragons or... Nezor, say something. This is a very one-sided conversation.
I'm still stuck on wondering where all this bacon came from. But,
Deirdre!
Okay, so after a few more minutes, Deirdre comes out from the back room.
Please describe her.
Okay, she's wearing a chef's apron, and it has bits of blood on it.
Excellent.
And she's still holding a bloody hatchet. And it's like, all right, well, that's been done, so now all we need is hemp bags and some weight. Anyone?
I don't have any of those things, to be honest.
Well, I wasn't expecting to dispose of a corpse today, so could call on my brother, but I'd rather not.
Just see again the note about being really, really conspicuous.
Oh, don't worry. She, puts her finger to the nose. That's the way we do it.
don't have any empty barrels out the back?
Should we maybe wait till the others get back?
I've got nothing.
It's this point that both Skairn and Abella enter.
Oh, thank God. Hello.
They look rather...
Two outwardly mobile personalities come back in.
I'm not good at small talk.
I noticed.
Okay.
It's more axe, swing, kill.
You are very good at that, to be fair.
Dupree stands up and goes, right, shall we get to our ship and get the bloody hell off
Let's go.
I was just saying that. Thank you very much.
No, I agree with Nezor. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, are we going straight out? Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go.
Oh, wait. I rummage in the bag and I count out the money for Tankred. Tankred, you are a good man, Orc. And have a lovely wife. Bye.
Half of that's for her.
I feel like you hope we'll never meet again.
I
But
don't
it'd be
feel the
nice to meet you.
I don't feel the same way, but he is 50.
You're welcome to drop by any time.
Dankeschön.
Okay, so you, Dupree...
I'll just cut. Bye, Deirdre.
Goodbye! Don't you worry about that body. I'll take care of it all.
Thanks for the breakfast.
Oh, you're welcome. Hope you enjoyed it.
Spectacular long pork.
She comes out with a hand and waves.
Oh, God.
I like that girl. You know I do.
Tankred, please take one of those gold coins and buy your wife something nice.
Oh.
I'm gonna actually escalate that one. Take 10 of them. And buy her something really nice. Ideally not shaped like a piece of human.
Excited?
And you and Dupree leave and make your way to the pier where his ship awaits. Okay, so you walk along the dock line. It's actually quite busy now because most people are up. It's about 7 o'clock. Roughly.
I
6.
presumably have summoned Roche.
Yes, Roche has gone with you. If I don't mention Roche, he's generally around your neck.
Well, he was with me, so he's now. You came back.
Danke for looking.
Oh,
Scratching his belly.
Yes, he's got a low undulating sort of chirp happening. He's quite happy to see you.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, so you make your way along the pier, and Dupree brings you across to what looks like a rather dilapidated-looking ship. And along the prow, it says, The Joy.
I think that adequately expresses our feelings towards it.
What was it called?
The joy.
Oh, I thought you said the joint. I'm like, on the high seas.
Get it. I see what you did there.
Bosun's whistle is sounded and a gangplank is run down. At the top of the gangplank is a stocky-looking dwarf with a large beard. Quite an impressive beard, actually, and it's done in a double braid. It runs down to his knees and is fiery red.
Ooh.
He's also...
Me?
No.
But any...
He's wearing a hat. It looks Napoleonic. So it's the sort of...
Oh, wow, I'm really trying to reconcile that now.
The image?
Yeah.
That sounds great.
It's difficult.
Really?
Just put a hat on a dwarf.
I'm just
Put a hat on a dwarf.
I'm sorry, but okay, so Napoleonic era for me as a Brit is jodhpurs, which are long cavalry boots.
The hat.
Which don't work for dwarves.
Is this relevant?
No. Not at all, but he said Napoleonic era and I went Jodhpurs. Okay.
Hat. The hat is...
But that's like hat, like.
Okay, so it has...
Like the Lego figurines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like your standard... like any kind of... Any...
That's
No, not
fucking
tricolor.
stupid on a dwarf.
No,
Just
yeah.
wonderfully stupid. Like, no, I'm buying
But that's
into it
his
totally.
shtick.
No, that's cool. I'm cool. I'm down. I'm with the shiz in it. I'm just.
For fuck's sake. Can we get on
That's
the boat?
fucking hilarious.
Get
Carry on.
with it.
This magnificent dwarf is standing at the top of the gangplank. It would be more impressive if he were
Taller.
taller, yes, but as you said, he looks rather clownish as a result of the...
I'm not laughing.
No,
Got
absolutely
all
not.
of the laughs out. At
No,
the
he,
forge.
for all the ridiculousness of his appearance, he looks like he could probably beat the living shit out of you and then sit down and have a drink.
That's what I'm assuming.
The man has a face that looks like it's been bashed against a brick wall for his entire life. Dupree greets him. Captain, thank you. Are we ready to cast off? He just nods. He doesn't say anything. And Dupree goes, don't worry about them. They're just coming along. I'll recompense you when we get to Oreme. And the captain, again, nods, looks over towards the rest of the ship and shouts out, cast off! And you're aboard.
I shout a nautical greeting to him as I board.
He actually looks at you and goes, Northerner, eh?
Yeah.
No, welcome aboard the Joy. I'll set you up downstairs in the crew's quarters.
Should you need any assistance nautically, I'm here.
Very well. If you want, you can talk to me first, mate. And he points over, and there is a rather gangly-looking young man.
Abella, do you want to just lean over the side?
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Vomiting. There we go.
There we begin.
The deck becomes a flurry of activity as the crew start making ready to depart.
Is anyone going to do anything, or are you all going to head below? DuPont has departed to what you assume is the
I'm
guest
just kind
quarters.
of giving Abella a cursory
I
pat
just
on
have
the
to
back
stay
while she
here.
retches.
I just work until everything comes out. Come. Just while everything comes out.
I'm
just go
going
ahead without me.
to check that Nezor is all right.
I was about to say I'm sticking fairly close to Skairn. He seems to know where he wants to be.
Then I go to talk to the first mate.
He's busy shouting orders. He's shouting on the quarterdeck to the coordinating the rest of the crew.
Yeah. In the raising of the sails and
Yeah.
so forth. Yeah. Excuse me, meine freundliche. Cabins.
Below deck. If you go down and on your left, you should find them, no problem.
Left.
Left.
Port.
Port, sorry. I don't speak. I'm learning all this. That's my uncle, you see.
Port. Yeah. Okay.
Port. Ha, I remember. There's always a bit of port
Simple.
left on the...
The port is the left. It's a four words. It's four letters.
Oh, thank you.
Left. LFE. Yeah.
Great.
Port and similar.
Fantastic, thank you.
Danke.
Ryland's listening to this with one
Just
eyebrow raised.
unfurl the sail, you'll be fine.
You just took that guy down like 4 levels of competence. That guy up, and make the sail big. And then
God,
and
God,
point it
bro.
that way.
Just to Skairn, it's like, Dupree's really not doing well if this is all he can afford.
And then we the knuckles.
And then knuckle time happens. Okay. So,
That was the knuckle time.
in the interest of expediency, the crew do not seem particularly happy that Rhylind is aboard. People are actively ignoring you or avoiding you when they can.
Right. This is going to be delightful.
It's okay, you can go down.
It's fine, it's fine.
You can go- you
I'm
can
gonna
go
be
down
busy.
on-
I'm gonna be busy here for just a few moments.
Okay, so Oreme is a good month's travel.
Shit. Okay, you're right.
A month of being ignored. Can I win the crew's respect by
Well-
an act of bravery or helpfulness?
Skairn would immediately start. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna go batshit crazy. He would within the first day say to the captain, "What can I do? Like, I can raise the mizzenmast. Like, I'm bored and calisthenics are not for me. Let's do some shit. What do you do when you're on your way from one place to another? No ship just does nothing except sail. So, like, I can help, I can harpoon, I can fish. But not only that, like, the captain would, as a gesture of hospitality to his host, like to the guy who's ferrying, bring not only Dupree but also Dupree's compatriots to dinner. Like, there would be so much story. A month on ship.
But that's my point. Like, what do you want to do? I don't want to gloss over it, but it is also just transit time. So it's up to you if you want to pursue it. But like, otherwise, we can go over like what you guys want to do. This is the way I'm thinking of breaking it down. We can go around and get maybe one or two things each of you would like to try and do while you're on the ship.
I'm happy.
I mean, I know at some point I would play for the crew. Depends if they'd like that.
Well, you have to do a
often that would
performance check and see how that goes. But
Yeah.
But like I said, Rhylind is getting absolutely the cold shoulder. She's just not. It's not shit. They're not being actively rude. They're just whenever. Well, they are being rude, but it's not like fuck off.
It's not active rudeness, it's passive rudeness.
Yeah, they're. If you come up to them, they walk away from you. If you ask them a question, they ignore you.
Alright, skip 2 weeks in. I haven't had a decent fucking conversation in 2 weeks, and I'm going to kill things.
In which case, yeah, this is at least partially.
And she is just.
In which case,
I
like,
patted her on the back for 2 days, and
like Rhylind.
frankly, comforting is not my strong suit.
9. This is so tell me about where you come from. Assume I am simple country bumpkin, as you say. In fact, don't assume.
Okay. My egg was given as a gift to Lord Westfall.
Egg?
Yes, egg.
You're born from egg?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know my own personal family history. I was adopted by the Westfalls when I was born.
This is not by who he was born by, but who he was raised by, yeah?
Yes. Yes, very much so. Not that Dragonborn really get a say in that.
Yeah.
Well, this and sounds of retching in the background.
This is
Oh, no, it's not.
After 4.5 days, you were saying maybe now is good? Keep retching, woman. This is family.
I think we could put a stopper in her or something.
It doesn't work.
This is interesting, though. Maybe with the not retching elf.
Shouldn't draw attention to it. You draw attention to it and it starts happening again.
It happens. I'm deaf and funny, yeah.
Yes. Well, Dragonborn grow up quickly than human children, so...
Oh, yeah.
Technically joined the military very young indeed. Was good at killing things.
That's applicable industries, yeah.
And, organising other people to kill other people. Or at least terrify them enough that they ran away and we didn't have to kill them.
Rhylind, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, well... 38 in human years?
38. Yeah. It's similar.
Of course, I haven't been to the Earhart Kingdom for a long time, so it may be a bit different these days.
Well, yeah.
Hard to know.
Things move quickly.
Not welcome. It's a bit awkward.
This I can relate to. I am 47.
Oh, yeah.
Not been spending a lot of time on land for something. I'm on 20 years now.
Wow.
So things move. And siblings move.
Yeah,
and this is the thing, as you may have heard from Dupree.
He's not speaking to me anymore.
Well, he's not speaking to many of us, actually.
I won 10 gold coins off him in a card game, and he really doesn't like me anymore.
I wondered who that did. This is nice. He
not that he liked me to begin with.
He would not play with me after the dragon set fire to his coattails. It's a good point.
I didn't start out trying to torment him, but it's just so much fun.
So easy, yeah. 9. We should not. Yeah. He's the one who was paying the voyage.
He also he turns a shade of purple whenever I come near, but at least he reacts. It's so enjoyable.
There is that. Look,
are sailors superstitious about Dragonborn?
Not as I am aware, but these are not. I am northern. These are all the ones I have sailed with. It's not.
Dragonborn are divisive, and even in the military, even before the whole the thing.
With the dragons, they are not harsh problem.
No, Roche. They're like Roche.
Yeah, he's fun.
But no, it's kind of just a blanket. Like, everybody's reacting the same way, and it's...
You are scary.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So as Rhylind and Skairn converse on the ship, it quietly slips its moorings and disappears into the daybreak. And as the crew and the party settle in, so too does boredom.
No.
I can't believe you're drinking on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
I can't,
Don't you ever forget it.
Yeah.
can't believe you're drinking on a boat. Oh, God.
Okay, so, Abella, are you doing anything other than vomiting throughout the period?
Just lying low, and when I'm not vomiting, trying not to vomit.
Sure. Okay, well, look,
Okay.
So, Scan, over the following weeks, you learn that the captain's name is Ironsides.
Of course. Yeah.
And it appears that his first mate...
Have I heard of him?
No. No, he's not well known. But you get the distinct impression that he's some kind of smuggler. So he's the equivalent of a naval gunrunner.
Yeah, cool.
Where
where are we
heading
going?
geographically?
Okay, so you're heading to Oreme. Now, Oreme is a border city that is literally cut in half. It is literally on the border between the Erhart Kingdom's captured territories and the Bashano Republic. It is separated by a river. One side is Bashano, one side is Erhart, and it is effectively one of the busiest trade ports in the known world.
In which case, I would argue that Skairn fucking knows where that is.
They know what Oreme is in terms of layout.
He's
You
heard
would
of it.
know of what. Yeah, you would know what Oreme is in terms of.
They've been
If
there.
I said,
He has never.
if I said this is Paris, you would go, oh, okay, so big tower and
Fair enough.
French city.
Yeah, okay, but he's heard of it. Like,
Yes.
So it's not nothing.
Is there
you know?
any tension on mine and Abella's part about heading to home turf, so to speak? Because I will probably be recognised.
Yes, you would most likely be recognised in this place because there are garrisons there.
Yes.
Abella,
Probably.
Abella probably not, even though it's a.
I lay low even when I was there, so.
Well, I mean.
Except for, obviously.
Yeah, but my point is.
Except for the murder that you committed.
I didn't murder anybody.
Yeah. But the point is, you escaped from Tolok, which is the capital, and your family are naval. On the map that I think you guys have all seen, Oreme is if you follow the Erhart Kingdom's control, which is effectively some of the continent. It's a coastal city. Like I said, it's separated by a large, probably one of the largest bridges in the world. It stretches over a very large mouth of the river, but it is wide enough to fit it's wide enough to fit at least 10 carts across.
What kind of bridge?
It's a solid stone bridge
So like with an arch support
with
in the middle?
arch support. It's
So
at
it's an
3 arches.
Oh, wow, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's massive.
Okay.
Just to be clear, we're staying on the Bashano side. I could get arrested. Well, they would try to arrest me, and then I'd kill them,
And
and
then we could get arrested.
then we could all get arrested. Like, not to be a downer, but we're almost there, and I feel like I should point these things out.
No, don't
I'm technically a fugitive.
Yeah. Whereas you're not fugitive?
No, not. I wouldn't say fugitive.
Then your side's safer than hers. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's safer. That's right.
So your journey to Oreme is for the most part uneventful, and as the ship approaches the coastline and you can see the mouth of the River Ore, we're going to take the camera away from the party, and we're going to fly as the crow flies. Over the city, to a quaint little townhouse nestled deep in the Bashano Quarter. Standing in the window is a large, shirtless man with a glorious mustache, a bald head, and a fighter's physique. This is the prize fighter, the pride of Erhard, Mr. Charlie Roughhouse.
You actually have Erhart military guards outside your house. They've been invited along. It's sort of like a friendly match between the two.
Yes.
It's been publicised quite widely, and the Bashano have actually relaxed controls on immigration to have people come to their side. Now, the House du Champion is in the rather affluent quarter.
It's on the bridge.
No,
The
no.
fight.
No, the fight's not on the bridge. It's on Aga.
Should
It's
be.
unfortunate. It's cool.
It's
It
on
would
the
be-
Bashano
Be cool.
side.
It would be cool, but it's on the Bashano side.
That's actually cooler.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, no, it's not cool, but it's weird. It's like
I'm so gonna get
Funky.
recognised, aren't I?
You were so going to get
Possibly.
a fight started.
But yes, it's been amped up, and the fight is the evening after next. So 3 days from now.
Sure.
And
Okay.
your promoter, a halfling that goes by the name of Gorgeous George.
Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
I desperately want him to be the 5th player.
Okay, so Gorgeous George walks in and he's chewing on a big fat cigar. Says, "This fight is gonna be the best thing that's ever happened to your career, buddy."
What have I said about you smoking around me? Can we put that up, please?
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Chief. He takes the cigar, puffs it a few times, and puts it out on some of the furniture. "You're gonna make so much money from this. I can't believe the amount of money that Bashino put up to have this rematch, even though you lost your last match. It's fantastic. You're gonna be a king, Chief. King.
It's not about being a king. It's about the fight.
Right, well, you take care of the fighting, and I'll take care of the promoting, all right? All right, so for the date, we're going to have a meeting with old Jackie Boy on the bridge, and then we're going to do a tour around the main square on the Bashano Quarter. You're going to sign autographs. We're going to make a big deal about this, and then you come back here for a state dinner with some real movers and shakers. Sound good for you, Chief?
Sounds good.
All right. Now, I want you in fighting shape for when this happens. We got to build your image. And even if you do come out last, which I don't think you are, champ, you got to know I got your back. All right? Great. Okay, I'm going to send for the carriage. I'll be back.
Righto.
So you're left in this... It's not a bad house. It's not the best house.
That's fine. I'm not here for the house. I finished my tea.
Yep.
Yes. The teacup is about the size, like.
Do you want to
tiny.
describe what Charlie looks like?
So Charlie is 6 foot, so 6'7", completely bald, big glorious handlebar mustache.
Please stop describing yourself.
He doesn't have a mustache.
He's not that tall.
Barrel
He has a
chested,
pierced nose.
big barrel chested, sort of strong man crossed with the gentleman boxer. Imagine a machismo man, sort of.
Like your 19...
strong man.
Not even 1950s, 1920s.
Yeah, strong man crossed with.
Johnny Domino.
1800s.
Yeah.
A few minutes later, a carriage rocks up. You hear the telltale sounds of the horses clapping. No, there is a small crowd. There is a small crowd of people that are jeering at you.
How small?
It's about 20 people.
Okay.
It's not particularly huge. The guards are keeping them at bay. You walk out. What do you do? Just get to the carriage.
Good day to you all. I'll see
Kill
you at
them
the
all
fight.
with a
Yeah.
spike.
No, they're all throwing the flying V's at you and giving you the
Cabbage.
Yeah.
That's all right.
No one's actually throwing refuse.
come on.
No.
Dick.
But they're
Rhylind is getting very into the spirit.
Vive Bashino!
She's the other way.
Yeah, no, there's
You're
a
Bashino.
there's a chant happening.
This is Rhylind right now. This is
Yeah. So they're all Vive Bashino. They're all chanting.
Vive Bashino.
Yeah. They're all chanting and railing against you. But
I'm going.
Gorgeous George jumps down and goes, "Don't worry about them. They're just jealous of your muscles."
How gorgeous is George?
George's is a fucking ugly motherfucker.
I'll give him a pose.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Before I get into the carriage, I'll give them this.
It's
So
the-
let's do
it
the
has to be-
strongman pose, like pointing into the sky,
Yeah.
and then get into the carriage.
You'll never beat us.
Fuck off, Vector! I had you, motherfucker!
9. Don't know this.
No, they're...
One would make love to one's opponent's mother. This
Look you!
Let's live with your mother.
Yeah. I'll have my brother put it on.
my pimples at your aunties, you
Yeah, mother was a hamster.
silly
Then our father
donkey.
smelled
Berries.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
You and your silly English
I
niggets.
told them we already got one.
Yeah, that's the Bashano.
Yeah.
Instead of doing
How
this,
did they even keep half the city?
Okay. So for the,
I told him we are in the Let's build a giant catapult and then we throw giant rabbits.
That's what the trebuchet's for, watching cows.
this wasn't planned, but I love it.
Ship sink. So what happened? Dead cows.
Okay, just so you're aware, I do actually really like that that general gesture of disapproval, which is them slapping their heads and blowing. Like,
Can Rhylind have a really racist joke?
if you like.
Guys, I feel this is appropriate at this time. What's the difference between a cow and a Bashano soldier? A cow has a slight chance of knocking down an Earhart tower.
Oh, I like what you did there. I don't actually fully understand the political
Because you launched the
ramifications.
cows at the city. And
I see what you did. I'm still entirely ignorant of the political situation.
she gets it. Abella's laughing.
I think it's funny.
She gets it, but she's on the opposite side.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Anyway, I get in
so
the
Gorgeous
garage.
George, just to be clear, Gorgeous George is an ugly motherfucker. He looks like his head's been pressed in a little bit too much. Like his jaw is a little bit high, closer to his head, to the top of his head than it should be. So he's a bit.
Feels like his pelvis is a little bit closer to his spine than it should be.
It looks it's possibly as a birth defect, or he's just one ugly motherfucker.
Well,
his eyes
maybe
are
any
bulgy.
of these things.
His eyes are a little bit bulgy. So
I get into
the carriage, Gorgeous George is there. He's like,
he's
don't
having-
worry about it. Don't worry.
Who's the opponent? It's not any of us, right?
No, it's Thunderclack Jack.
Thunderclack.
So, and you, I've had lots of wine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap Jack.
Have fun editing this, man.
Yeah, I will. I absolutely will. This is fucked.
We're heading to the square.
The bridge.
The bridge first.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a big shot. The bridge is sort of emblematic of like this is where Bashano starts. This is where Earhart starts.
The wall.
It's a neutral kind of ground.
Yeah, the wall.
Yeah.
The DMZ.
Yeah, effectively. It's actually lined. You're arriving in a rather nice looking cart. It has Earhart colours on it, and you are driving over the bridge. There's actually a rather large crowd, especially on the Earhart side. The Bashano not so much, which is a little bit surprising. But you arrive. Gorgeous Joy goes, "Get out there and make them love you, baby."
And yeah, I open the door and sort of
There's a huge roar.
throw a big pose, like flex a couple of times, blow a kiss to like a lady in the front.
Yeah,
and then
there is
step
a
down.
huge roar, and they're like, "Rough house, rough house, rough house, rough house." The entire Earhart side is just chanting this, and you even see some of the soldiers doing this.
Yeah, and I'm sort of like, after a few flexes, twist the end of my mustache.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then just stand out.
There's a couple of ships in the bay. The one with the Earhart flags facing towards the ocean actually fires off a whole pile of the cannons.
on the outside, on the
basically-
seaward side.
Seaward side, yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a fantastic time, but there's no Thunderclap Jack. He doesn't appear to be there. And it's a good 5 minutes you're waiting there, I suppose, throwing poses, and then you hear a sort of there's just this clapping. You turn and look at the Bashano side of the river, and it's like watching a horde of ants come out of an ant's nest. There's just this of Bashano people just clapping. It's all walks. It's very metropolitan as opposed to the side of the Earhart's predominantly human. The other side is there you see a lot of elves, a lot of halflings, a few dwarves, a lot of humans as well, and they're all shouting. And at the fore, you can see being carried aloft by two, what looks like soldiers, is Thunderclap Jacques. Rather large, burly man. He's easily your equal in physique. He's actually wearing his the robes he'd be wearing in the fight, so boxers, and he's got wrapped knuckles. And unlike you, he's actually clean shaven and full head of hair, and the hair is cut relatively short, but he has a really large sneer on his face. So he's the inverse. He's evil version of
Long hair.
not hugely
He's
long.
just got hair.
And you actually hear horns being blown. Like this is their
A big fanfare.
big fanfare. It's actually louder than what the Erhart are chanting. And as he reaches where you are, there's a sort of a circle.
Can I ask where the sound is coming from?
The claps.
No, the horn.
It's coming from the fort. Gorgeous comes up to you and just sort of nudges his shoulder and goes, "You gotta be bigger than him, brother. Get out there. Show him what you're made of." And Jacques comes up, being carried aloft, and is put gently down on the ground, and he does sort of a straight up flex with his fist in his hand in front of his chest. Does like the full, like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
That's fine. I walk up.
And then throws his arms up. Like,
I walk up and extend my hand forward for a handshake.
He looks at it, looks at you, goes to shake, and then lifts his hands up, goes, "Ah!" and then turns around and showboats to his side, which are even louder now. They're very happy that you've done that.
And I go, very ungentlemanly. It's expected from the Bachano, isn't it, boys?
Yeah, you're also... everyone's showboating at this point. Out on the sea, there's a big hubbub happening on the bridge for some reason. There's people throwing confetti, there's horns being blown. There was a gun salute from one of the boats in the harbour that didn't go anywhere near you, but it was large and loud. Some kind of celebration's happening. You're all on the foredeck, I imagine.
Well, so we're heading into port?
Yeah, no, you're heading you're heading
On
down the river.
which side?
You're heading towards the Bachano side.
Okay. So,
Anyone?
presuming Dupree wants to be there, so Dupree's giving orders, really.
Dupree's come out of his cabin for the first time in about 3 days, and he actually looks rather refreshed. And he's been talking to Ironsides a little bit, and then walks up to you and goes, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be making land here, and I've been thinking a little bit about our adventure so far. Frankly, I was not entirely thrilled with the way it was resolved in Ardfalun.
We figured that, yeah.
But I'm willing to have bygones be bygones if you'd like to accompany me for another venture, as it were. I've got a rather large monetary consideration here in the next few days. If you'd like to be part of it, I can give you a good inside tip as to the results of a rather spectacular prize fight. Any takers?"
One that's... My experience, a rigged fight is not a fight that you can trust.
It's not.
Up to you, my good man.
It's not my form of entertainment, but I've got nothing better to do.
I'm curious on the lucrative prize fight, but sounds like setting a fight is, like, what I was saying was, sounds like setting a fight is risky as fuck.
Especially because if they expect me to
particularly
take a
as
fall, it
this-
ain't gonna
this-
happen.
Dudikins is not going to take a fall.
Do we know who's fighting?
This one,
No.
in character.
I'm asking in character
all aware.
to DuPont, who's fighting.
You wouldn't be aware.
Oh, well, it's rather great. It's a comeback tour. It's Thunderclap Jack versus Charlie Roughhouse. Should be right.
Out of character. Do I know these
Yes,
people?
you would know Charlie.
Goodness, that's going to be Well, last time let's say Thunderclap Jacques wiped the floor with the other guy. Are we expecting this to happen again?
who we saying is winning?
Well, if you're interested, we'll have to talk more once we've made landfall.
Charlie Roughhouse is the gentleman fighter. So one assumes you're getting to Thunderclap Jacques, but if you can't get to Charlie Roughhouse, how exactly do you plan to rig a fight?
And like I said, you'll have to take me up on the offer, but if you just care to look up there, can you imagine how many people are going to be making bets?
Angry.
And he looks, you're actually quite close now to the bridge. So much so that, Charlie, you actually see a ship coming.
Does it have Erhart colours?
It's an Erhart design. It's not not.
I'm gonna
it's-
fire a pose down to the ship.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, Abella, look up.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Yeah. But you see a mustachioed bald man throwing a look down at you, and Dupree
sort of-
waves.
I give him a half-hearted salute.
yeah, I'm just like,
So,
and then go back to like posing for everyone.
Yeah. The crowd's over here, champ. Come on, build it up.
Thank you for listening to this episode of There Be Dragons. If you'd like to know more about the show, feel free to check us out at therebedragonscast.com for lore, cast information, and updates on our schedule. You can also find us at therebedragons.podbean.com and on Spotify for your listening needs. If Twitter is more your thing, you can also find us at TV Dragonscast. I am Matthew, your Dungeon Master, and Skairn Fellspar Thuferson is played by Joshua Walker. Rhylind Westfall is played by Keren Schlink. Charlie Roughhouse was played by Tristan Doust. Abella DeRosier is played by Angela Donlan. And finally, Nezor Valghoorlis is played by Tom Moore, who also acts as our sound recordist. There Be Dragons' original theme and scores are composed by award-winning composer Sean Tinian. You can see more of his work at seantinianmusic.com. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.